Hi, we're Joel and Lia.
And today's video is all about what is a Prime Minister and what is a President.
This is something that we've often wondered ourselves.
And we get asked in the comments, so
Yeah.
we should probably do a bit of research and then relay it to anyone else who's wondering.
Yeah. So we have done. This is going to be a very simplified version because we're not very, into politics or stuff like that. So it goes above our heads lots of the time. So we have to simplify it for ourselves.
So this is an idiot's guide.
Yes, an idiot's guide.
Prime Minister versus President.
Yeah.
So I guess we begin with the fact that our Prime Minister, our current Prime Minister Theresa May, and the US President Donald Trump are both heads of their respective governments.
Yeah.
So that's the same.
Mm-hmm. But where they differ is that Donald Trump, or whoever the president is at this time, you might be watching this in like 4, 5, 6 years' time, but the president is also the head of state, but the Queen is our head of state. So we have Theresa May, who's head of government, and then the Queen, who is the head of state, whereas Donald Trump is currently both roles in one. So he's got 2 jobs in one, the head of state and the head of government. Yeah,
so I think it's really interesting that one person could make so many decisions in one place, whereas in the UK you've got Theresa May, or whoever the Prime Minister is at the time you're watching this, has to work with the King or Queen. Often the Queen doesn't really get involved that much, but it has to still pass her to go through.
So technically she can still overrule anything the Prime Minister does, or it doesn't have to be the Queen, obviously anyone who's a monarch. So when the Queen dies, sorry, R.I.P. Queenie, it will be a king, so the king would be able to overrule. But yeah, technically she can go, no, don't like that law, you can't pass that. Whereas, technically, I think the President of the United States doesn't have that blockage, but I know there are certain other steps he has to go through.
With Congress and things like that.
But I wonder how many Prime Ministers there are versus Presidents. Like, do you think there's more Presidents in the world than Prime Ministers? And what is the difference? Is there an Emperor?
Is there an Emperor?
Once an Emperor.
Yeah.
What's an Emperor? The Emperor of
the
China?
Emperor of Rome?
Rome?
Is that a fairy tale?
But let us know in the poll if you've got a president or a prime minister or something else entirely.
Yeah, or if you just rule your own nation.
Yeah, you rule your own.
We've got, if you click on the little eye, a poll should come out.
Yeah.
Naturally. Please vote in that, because this is an opportunity
to engage with
us. With us.
So the next difference is about coming into power. So the differences between how a president gets voted into office and how the Prime Minister gets voted into office.
So in the UK, we did not vote for the individual, Theresa May currently, to be our Prime Minister. We vote for local MPs, so members of parliament. And then whichever party has the most MPs gets to choose who is the Prime Minister.
So, for example, if most of the country voted Labour, then that means that the Labour Party win and they get to choose their leader. But in the last election, the Tories had the most amount of votes, so they got to choose their leader. So on our voting forms, we don't go in and vote, okay, do you want Theresa May or this leader or this leader?
No.
It's your local MP that you're voting for. Whereas in America, I understand that you are voting for either the person representing the Democrats or the Republicans. So you are actually, when you went into the ballot and you were voting for Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump, you literally were voting for Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump, which we don't have that here.
We don't have that. We were not like Jeremy Corbyn, Theresa May. It wasn't like that for us.
No.
It said local names that you've probably not heard of unless you're in touch with your local MPs and you know the area and you know who's in charge of that.
But it always tends to be the head of the party that gets to be the Prime Minister. So we kind of knew if the Tories won, it would be Theresa May. Or not really, because no one elected her, because it was David Cameron, wasn't it? Because that's the thing, David Cameron resigned and then they chose their next leader and none of the public had any say in who that next leader was, because they were like, well, you voted for the Tories, so you trust us to choose the best leader.
And they chose Theresa May.
They chose Theresa May.
I mean, I think I prefer the American way.
Yeah, I think
I'd rather go in and, because that person, say Jeremy Corbyn, who's been in the public eye, and you get to see them and you see what they're all about, and you vote for that individual, you vote for that person. Yeah,
but it's quite difficult. For example, if you really like your Conservative MP, local MP, but you don't like the Conservative Party leader, it's like, oh, well, who do you vote for then?
Yeah.
So I think American system is easier because it's like you are voting for this person or this person.
Definitely.
But I do like having the Queen as like a barrier to the government.
It's just really interesting, isn't it? We were talking about it before, and it's like it is a little bit like a fairy tale. Like, you know, things still have to go via the palace before they get the final sign off.
Oh, well, should we explain a bit about that?
Yeah, definitely.
So the Queen has to approve any bill before it can become a law.
Yes, so once a proposed law has made its way through Parliament, it then makes its way to the palace for approval, and that's called the royal assent. So
that's like fairy tale,
isn't it?
Yeah.
We
the
said
royal assent
it's
goes
like
to
a
the palace.
messenger carrying like a piece of paper.
I imagine them being in a carriage, and maybe they do. I haven't seen it.
It's probably all on email.
Yeah.
We're like, well, that law obviously needs to go in the carriage to the palace. But yeah, so it has to. It's like taking your homework to the head teacher.
Yeah, just being like,
getting
can you
the final
sign
sign off. As we have said, this is a really sort of beginner's guide to what is a president versus what is prime minister. And if you are interested in very basic facts about the UK and leading on to more advanced things to do with the UK, then make sure you are subscribed to this channel because we cover a little bit of everything.
Yeah, all things British. So if you're obsessed with Brits or British stuff, or you're just a little bit interested, you don't have to be obsessed.
Yeah.
Then click subscribe
because
that
will come
all the time.
The obsession will come.
The obsession will trust us. The obsession. We get so many comments being like, when I first saw you guys, you were so annoying, and now I'm obsessed with you. And we're like, yeah.
Isn't it funny?
Yeah. Also a bit hurtful, but funny. Back to the royals.
I love the royals.
So it's very unlikely that the Queen or the monarch will reject a law. I don't think it's happened. Apparently, it hasn't happened since 1708 when Queen Anne was the monarch, and she refused to have a royal assent. She refused, to even be a part of it. So I think it doesn't happen very often.
She refused the royal assent entirely, like that system. That's interesting. I'd love that. Be like, everything needs to go through me. Yeah,
everything has to go through me. I'm the one with power.
Yeah.
I tend to get the impression that she doesn't really interfere. She sort of just lets.
Or has a lot of faith in Parliament.
Yeah.
I'm sure if something, really bad was to try and go through, she'd have to interfere.
Oh, definitely.
She's just a good lady.
She's just a lovely lady. She's a lovely Christian lady. So an example of one of the times the Queen has vetoed something, it was to do with some sort of military strike on Iraq that was due to the government basically wanted power to transfer from the Queen to the government to agree that they could have the power over this war in Iraq or this strike in Iraq.
To initiate more weapons going
basically.
and stuff.
And the Queen was like, nah, you ain't doing that. The power lies with me and I ain't doing a military strike.
Yeah, that was in 1999.
Yeah.
So that was the last time she said, no way.
Yeah.
No way, no way.
Probably in her lovely voice like, no, I don't think so. That's one thing I also really loved about presidents. When the Obamas were in office, they seemed to do loads of fun things, like in the media, they would go on TV shows and just be part of things.
Yeah, in fact, I just looked at Michelle Obama's Instagram story right before this video, would you believe? And she's just at a university, just, celebrating with loads of graduates and stuff like that.
They're just so cool,
just
whereas
so down.
The Prime Minister doesn't ever do anything of that. But apparently, I think that's because that's the royal family's job. That's why the royal family, their job is to go across the world and meet people and it's as like a big poster to Britain to be like, look at us, we're doing our bit to
being involved with the community. So it does make a lot of sense then that the Obama family were so much involved in the community,
because they're the head of state, or they were the head of state, just like the royal family is head of state.
Yeah, they've got to be everything.
Yeah.
Whereas our Prime Minister just sticks to 10 Downing Street and just
boring
does the
corporate
boring stuff.
Yeah.
It's boring.
I would not want to be Prime Minister. I'd love to be a royal, but I wouldn't want to be Prime Minister.
I would love to be a royal.
Oh, it'd be amazing.
I would love to be Meghan Markle.
Would you?
Yeah, I'd love it so much.
I would love it as well. Not to be Meghan Markle, but to just be... I'd like to be born into like Prince Harry, Prince William.
Oh yeah, you'd like to be one of the princes.
Yeah, to have been brought up in the whole family, to be running around the palace as a kid.
Oh, to be in the gardens.
In the gardens, drinking champagne with Mumsy, who's the
Age
queen,
4.
with Nanny. Yeah. Age 4.
Prosecco.
I just think it would be great.
I'd love that job.
Yeah.
I'd love that for both of us, really. I'd love for us to be royal siblings.
Yeah.
growing up in the palace, starting our YouTube channel.
That'd be great.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, the royals do a YouTube channel.
Well, this has taken a slight tangent.
Might not
This
include
is
this.
it's all you can choose to carry on watching this or not. This is why the videos are this length.
So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you learnt something there. Do let us know who rules your country. I mean, we like to think we rule our country, but we don't.
We certainly rule our space online, don't we?
Yeah,
in
we
our
do.
corner of the internet.
Yeah.
Do subscribe to our channel if you're interested in British content and if you like us as people, really. Also, I don't know if you've seen in our description, we are also linking up what we're wearing nowadays. No joke, what we like. We're real YouTubers.
Yeah.
No, I always get questions. I got some questions on Instagram about this. Joel always gets questions about his clothing. So we just started linking that up down below. And if you're interested in that, follow those links.
Yep. We've also just recently started a coffee page. We've said it before, we'll say it again. We've gone from doing 1 video a week to 2 videos a week to now 3 videos a week, and that's only possible because we're starting to earn an income from YouTube. So it means like the more effort we can put in. So any tips or donations that you can give us via coffee is
it's really
greatly
helpful.
appreciated. It just means we can make more content and better content.
Definitely. So
And sound.
Oh yeah, we just bought a new sound device. Using coffee money, we just bought a new thing so that we can have cleaner audio on our videos.
So hopefully
no more hate.
No more hate, please. If there's a hum.
Please say this is recording the sound. Oh,
what if it's camera sound?
If it's just it'll be funny.
Please.
Okay, that's everything, guys. See you next time.
See you soon.
Bye.
Imagine if we were siblings and it was Princess Leia and Prince Joel.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
We'd be spoilt brats.
No, we wouldn't, Joel. They're so down to earth.
Yeah.
The royals are so... We'd be out there getting our hands dirty for 5 minutes.